Hello everybody, this is Tammy with Autistic Wiki. So this is on my mind right now because of trees. My neighbor just had one of their trees cut down today, a big huge maple tree. And that made me sad. Anytime I see a tree get cut down, I feel really sad. It really bothers me for some reason. And I have a big huge maple tree I think it's a maple, in my backyard that it might be sick. I might have to cut it down. I'm not sure. But I started thinking about it. If so, I know this practice of seeing everything as animate, even though it's not technically like a tree is alive, but most people don't think of it or recognize it as, I don't know if sentient's the right word. Like for me, trees, they're alive. Like they communicate with us and they interact. Like they're alive in a different way, and they're there. But I know I do this with the bottle of, I throw out a bottle of olive oil. Like the bottle's done, and I rinse it out, and I can put the bottle in the recycling, but you're supposed to throw the cap away. And like for me, that's really hard to do because I think that they're going to get sad if they get separated. So it's hard for me to like throw different things in different trash cans because I don't want to separate them and make them sad. So I know that's probably not normal. And it's certainly not part of the criteria for autism, but I've heard anecdotally online of other autistics talking about this. So I don't know if it's an autistic thing, if it's just one of those things that we do that hasn't really been maybe studied or acknowledged, or maybe it's just such a small thing they don't care. But I'm wondering if other autistic people kind of feel this way too, or maybe just all people. Maybe it's more common than I realize. But just the thought of losing my tree makes me so sad. I mean, I've been living in this house for probably about 6 years, and the reason I bought the house was because of this huge backyard with just this massive. I've got all these trees back there, and my neighbors have a bunch of big trees, so it's kind of like being in the middle of the forest, in the middle of the city. It's so cool, and just to have it if it has to come down, it's going to be really hard for me. Yeah, I don't want it to come down. But then I started thinking, so this topic of anthropomorphizing, I think that's the word. It gets me kind of thinking about when I was younger. I don't know what age it was, but during school, how like the teacher gives you a writing assignment, and it's one of those writing assignments you do like right then and there. So like to everybody, we're going to write about what we did last summer. We're going to write a story about this or that. So the teacher gave us this assignment to just write a story about, I can't remember what the assignment was, but for whatever it was, I chose snow. So maybe it was like, write about the winter, write about the holiday coming up, and so I wrote about snow. And the assignment was to write it from a different angle. So of course, like 99% of the people didn't do that. They just did some stupid thing like, oh, I love Christmas because all my family gets together, and I love my family, and I love Jesus, and I love Santa, like just stupid shit. Like not that it's stupid, but you know what I mean. Like there was no thought going into that. Nobody made an effort to look at it from a different angle. So essentially they didn't get the assignment right, and yet they still get the pat on the back, the good little girl for you. So I was one of the few people that actually did the assignment as directed. So I looked at, I thought of snow. So snow falling down, like when there's a snowfall and it's the big fluffy snowflakes coming down, I viewed them as alive, as like all individuals, because every snowflake is an individual. And I viewed them as all alive and slowly falling to earth, and they're kind of like almost like a bunch of friends parachuting down to earth. They're just like slowly dropping down, and they're all excited because they've heard from their elders about what it's like to go down to earth, and because they live up in this clouds. So they're all excited to come down and see the humans, to see the people. They've heard so much about them. They've heard all these good stories from their elders and from their grandparents, and so they're slowly parachuting down on their little snowflake wings, and they get down to the ground, and they're so excited, and they're like, and they see us kids outside playing in the new snow, and they're like, oh, the kids, these are the humans we've heard so much about. Hi, kids, come and say hi. And then the kids come running over to the snowflakes. Not that they can hear the snowflakes, but the kids are just in their own little world playing in the snow the way, kids do, the way we do. And in the process, they're stomping on the snow, killing all the individual snowflakes. I know. I say it now and it sounds like, what the is wrong with you? But as a little kid, I was so impressed. I thought that I was really doing a great job of looking at things from a different perspective. So the kids are running through the snow and stomping on all the snow in the process and killing all the snowflakes. And all the snowflakes are screaming in agony, please, no, getting killed. And the kids are just oblivious because we are. I mean, we don't know. They might be alive. This might be a documentary. We don't know. We assume that they're not alive and conscious and sentient, but we don't know. Let's be honest, we don't know. So anyways, the kids are just, killing all the snow because they're stomping on it, and they're grabbing it up and smashing it together, squashing them all up, turning it into snowballs, and then throwing them at each other. So then the little snowflakes are like, being flown across the room, smack into another person, dead. So, and there was just like one snowflake that had like kind of watching all this, that had fallen in a place where it was just in a safe spot. So it was just able to watch in horror as all of their friends and family were being massacred by the humans. And they're like, why were we told these stories about all these good stories about the humans? They're massacring us. This is nightmare. This is horrible. And there's nothing I can do until the spring thaw, when I go back to my family, because they melt and they go back up in the air. So anyways, I wrote this story about it. And this is one of those things where everybody gets up in class and reads their story. So I'm reading my story, and I'm thinking, this is amazing because you could hear a pin drop. There was not a sound in the room. Everyone was staring at me. So I'm like, they are really impressed with this story. Like, because normally when somebody reads, everybody's talking to each other and squirreling around and no one's paying attention. But everybody was paying attention to me. So I was so sure that this was a good story. And I finally got to the end. I'm like, the end. And I look at my teacher for expecting to be showered with praise, and she's just staring at me, what I now understand to be horror. And she's just like, where did you get that from? And I was like, well, I just thought about it because you said to look at things from a different perspective. So that's what I did. I looked at winter from the perspective of the snowflake. And she's like, that'll be all. You can go sit down. So definitely, I think it's safe to say we do look at things from a different perspective. I don't know how much anthropomorphizing, you know what I mean. I don't know how much of that is autistic or if it's just like something else, but I don't know. I thought it would be interesting to bring it up. Maybe if anybody knows, they can mention it for me, and Yeah, you learn at a young age to not your not let your freak flag fly, because they let you know early that yeah, that's not normal. Don't write stories like that anymore. I thought I did so good. See, nobody appreciates true artistry. What can you do? All right, thank you.